published.
Yeah, I did see it. Congratulations, Shakshi.
1111.
Yeah. Let everyone give a big round of applause to Sakshi ma'am.
Yay, Sakshi ma'am. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations, Sakshi.
Thank you, Asina ji.
Great
Thank
work.
you, Puneet ji.
So
Thank
happy
you,
to
one and
hear.
all.
आज तो आपको हंसना पड़ेगा साक्षी जी.
मैं भी
मैं ऐसे ही हंसती रहती हूँ. आपको
बस-
कैमरा में नहीं
मगर
दिखाई
हम
देता.
किसी को देखने नहीं देते हैं अपनी हंसी को, खुद को भी नहीं देखने देते.
I like to sing one song for her.
Please do. That's a good way to start. So say good morning, everybody, and then start your song.
Yeah, so good morning, everybody, and I'm gonna sing this song. Musu musu hasi, dil malai lai, musu musu hasi dil. Zara मुस्कुराते, जरा मुस्कुरा दे, ऐ खुशी गम बांट ले तू अपने, हो गए हम हंसी. मुसु मुसु हंसी, लाई लाई, मुसु मुसु हंसी. That's all. Thank you.
All right.
Wow.
Good morning. Good morning.
Lovely. Thank you. Thank you so much.
And a very good morning to each and every one of you. Welcome to Empowering Morning Conversations, to all you wonderful positivity people. And as you know that we are working relentlessly to create new possibilities and positivity and defeat all the negativity that is bombarding us. And we are working towards creating a life of ease, joy, and glory. Now, you know, it's not all that easy, some people say, and I say it's quite easy. All you have to do is be in the distinctions. Do not allow your reactive mind, do not allow your resisting mind, do not allow your default mode to take over you. The default mode is you, the you that you became because of the conditioning of life, because of your life experiences or whatever you may like to call them. Right? Nidhi, you are the co-host. Please let me in.
Yes, sir.
So, empowering morning conversations is about you, and it's a conversation. We want to create, you know, a shift from our survival mode to the create mode. So what do we do about it? We sometimes share some tools with you. We ask you questions that provoke thinking. All right. And we share and we question, and one person sharing could be a breakthrough for another person. So we are a bunch of very generous people who are willing to give with our sharing, willing to give with our questioning, and willing to give, you know, by even confronting if necessary. So that's one of the things that we do. We want to dissipate all the negativity we pick up from other people and circumstances. We want to be rather than a complainer. Please mute your microphone, Milanji. Okay, so when we talk about being a possibility seeker, then a complainer, and then we want to increase our focus and our energy in life, because if you don't waste your energy on resisting, reacting, complaining, comparing, judging, and all those frivolous things that we do, then we might be able to focus on what we really desire, and we may put our energy into what we desire. The energy that is scattered into all those things that we are reacting to, that we are resisting to, that we are comparing with, all that energy can come back to us and be focused like a laser on what we desire. Yeah, and we certainly desire to live a life of ease. So sometimes it's good to ask a question that what I'm thinking right now, what I'm doing right now, is it going to create a life of ease and joy? And then you may say, hey, this is stupid. What I'm doing right now will not give me a life of ease and joy. So let me focus on things that will give me ease and joy. Right? So one day I asked you this question: when you're stuck or in trouble, who are you going to listen to? Are you going to listen to your fears, worries, and concerns? Are you going to focus on what you don't want? Or are you going to focus on possibilities of creating what you desire? So obviously the answer is going to be, I'd like to focus on what I desire. Now, today, maybe focusing on what you desire is not yet your default mode. So like someone said long time back, as a human being, I'm a victim of my habits. And if I have to be a victim of my habits, then I'd rather form good habits and become their slaves. So our default mode has some good habits, no doubt. And it has a whole lot of bad habits in terms of thinking, judging, all that stuff that we do. And those bad habits don't allow us to naturally be a possibility seeker. Okay? So here, what I'm suggesting to us all on this call, Samina ji, good morning, is that we develop a possibility mindset. You know, we develop a possibility seeking attitude. See, were we born with it? I think we were. That's why as little children, maybe up to the age of 2 or 3, we were naturally seeking possibilities. That was reflected in our curiosity. You know, willingness to explore new things, approach anybody, do anything. And gradually we lost that possibility search attitude. And that got replaced by be careful attitude. It got replaced by bachke rehna re baba, bachke rehna re. Right? So today we are going to talk about developing a possibility mindset and making that a natural part of our being. Developing a possibility mindset. So we have a little bit of it, but it's clouded. It's like behind a thick glass. So we need to break that glass. And one of the biggest enemies that does not allow us to break that glass and which does not allow us to see possibility is the fact that we are completely conditioned and stuck in life. So conditioning was a phrase which was coined by one Russian scientist, okay, who was doing experiment with dogs. And every time he would feed the dogs, he would give some food to them. So they got conditioned. So, and he would also ring a bell when he, you know, gave the food to the dogs. So they got conditioned that when they heard the bell, they would know that there is food over there. And after a while, when he rang the bell, even if there was no food over there, they would come running, salivating. So it's an example of conditioning. And we are conditioned. And more than 80%, more than 90% of our actions, our thinking, our speaking is conditioned. And we are stuck in that. And as long as we are stuck in condition, we will never see possibilities. So how do we get out of our conditioning and see possibilities? That's one of the things that we are doing on the Empowering Morning Conversations. Can you see that? We are breaking out of our conditioning. So a lot of work has been done on this by many people. How do we keep our mind engaged in looking at for possibilities? So I'm going to give you a few things today that will allow you to see possibilities. So before that, I want to ask you a question. If you live in a place where there is no pollution, I'm sure you've traveled to places like that. Like Hasina ji goes to Pune, where there is less pollution. Some people go to other hill stations. And then we look up at the sky and we are so awestruck. Wow, look at the clear sky. Look at the number of stars in the sky. Right? We do that. Now, if somebody asked you, how many stars would you be able to count on a clear moonless night? How many stars do you think you can count? So somebody actually took the trouble of counting them and he counted 4,126 stars in the sky. Now, would it be right to say that there are only 4,126 stars in the sky? No. If you take a telescope and look at the sky, what would you see? Millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of stars. Now, did the telescope invent the stars? The telescope did not invent the stars. The telescope only made it possible for you to see something which was already there. So, according to Dr. Edward de Bono and Dr. Dane and Gary Douglas and so many other people, they say possibilities are already there. Possibilities are always there, but we don't see them. So today, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to give you a few telescopes. Then you start using them. Yeah, not real telescopes, but virtual telescopes. You start using them, you will see whatever possibilities in life. So you know one of those telescopes very well. What is that? The telescope that you know very well is Come to Empowering Morning Conversations. We will work with you so you always see possibilities. So the first telescope that I would like to introduce you to is something called a do or die commitment. See, when I ask you this question almost every other day, what is the life that you want? What is the life you desire? Right? We are even sometimes afraid of thinking about it. What if it does not happen? I will be very disappointed. Right? The first telescope that I'm introducing to you is that whatever it is that you desire, are you so committed to it that you're willing to give your 100% for it? Because unless you're willing to do that, your mind is never going to show you possibilities. And some of you are familiar with the structure of the mind, right? So I'm going to introduce you to another structure of the mind as well today. So the first telescope is do or die commitment. The second one is don't give up. Now, when you don't give up, see what happens with us is that we are so attached to the result that when we don't see the results happening and we have this instant gratification desire, we think that, oh, I put in little effort, so I should be getting it. At least I should be getting some signal that I'm getting it. At least I should be getting support. It doesn't happen so quickly. So what do? We give up. And when I ask somebody, why did you give up? They'll say, because of so and so. Because of so and so. So the first telescope is do or die commitment. Second one is don't give up. Now, when you don't give up, something wonderful is going to happen to you. All right. There is a switch in your brain that will get activated. All right. So I'm going to introduce you to that switch. The switch is called the reticular activating system. So this is something very interesting. It's like a filter in your brain. So many of you who have these, email programs, there is something called a spam filter. What does the spam filter do? It filters out whatever it considers to be unnecessary. Correct? So sometimes somebody sends you a mail, you say, I didn't receive it. They'll say, why don't you look in your spam folder? Yeah, because your spam program figured that this must be unnecessary, so puts it there. Now, the human brain has the reticular activating system, and the only purpose of this reticular activating system is to allow only those perceptions to get inside which are necessary for your survival. So if it thinks that this is not necessary for my survival, it will say this is useless data, this is useless information, and it won't allow you to see something which is right in front of your nose. All right. But when you have a do or die commitment, there is a signal going to the brain, hey, this is important for my survival. So it starts showing you. So how many of you might have noticed, you say today that I'm going to buy a blue colored Maruti car. Okay. And wherever you look, you'll be only seeing blue colored Maruti cars. You check that? A lot of people decide to go to Burhanpur or they decide to go to Vaishno Devi. And then all of a sudden they'll find these photos of Vaishno Mata and so on and so forth. And then they'll say, oh, mereko bulawa aaya hai. Those pictures were already there. Those posters were already there, but you never saw them because your brain did not think it necessary to show you that. So this powerful filter can actually show you possibilities or it can block possibilities depending on what you are committed to in your life. So when your desire is clear, when your desire is strong, it will start showing you possibilities, how to fulfill that desire. Problem with it is that we are so garbled in our desires. There is so little clarity in our desires. There's so little conviction that we really wish to fulfill that desire. Therefore, we don't see possibilities. The second one is, the third one, rather, third telescope is use your brains fully. And by the way, that's another thing that we are trying to help you to do. Every morning when you come for these empowering morning conversations, we are stimulating your brain so that you are thinking more than you normally do. Do you think that what you normally do is thinking? All that we do is have a conversation in our own head. Either we are complaining, or we are comparing, or we are blaming, or we are judging. And we call that thinking. You know, a lot of times I'm telling somebody something and they need to make a decision based on what I tell them. So they'll say, I need more, I'll have to think about it. Okay. So I'm thinking, what do you want to think about? See, if you want to think about it, you need more data, right? If you want more data, you can ask me, I'll give it to you. Correct? So when people say, I will think about it, what do you think they think about? How many of you had an experience where you told someone something and you ask them, okay, so what are you planning to do? And they'll say, I'll think about it. So when they say, I'll think about it, what do you think they're thinking about? Would anybody want to answer this question?
When you are in doubt, you will do that, sir.
Yeah. So what does he want to think about when he's having doubt?
Your morning mindset.
No, wait. Let Reddy Garu answer. No, he started it, so let him proceed. So very good point, right? He's got a doubt, so he's going to say, "I'll think about it." So when he's having a doubt, when anybody has a doubt and he wants to think about it, what does he want to do? Does he want to clarify his doubt or he wants to remain in the doubt?
He wanted to clarify, sir.
Good. So if he wants to clarify, what should he do?
His question, sir.
Right. So instead of doing that, they'll say, I'll get back to you. I need to think more about it.
Okay.
So what happens eventually?
It will be postponed, sir.
Yeah. So what he's calling as thinking, I'll think about it, is nothing. That I've got some doubt. I need to clear the doubt. So can you help me to clear my doubt? Is the question that should be asked at that point.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
But he's postponing to discuss. So why is he postponing to discuss? If he doesn't even discuss, will a possibility emerge in that?
No.
And this is what, how much of this we do, Reddy Garu? All of you
Yeah.
look at me,
Yes,
how
sir.
much of this we do with others or even with ourselves. Sometimes we'll say, "Na, oh, this one complicated, I'll think about it later." And then later never comes.
Sometimes we are in doubt whether we can ask this question or not. That's why we postpone, sir.
Yeah, so now if you have a doubt that you can ask this question or not, you can ask the other person, "Na, I want to ask you something, is it okay if I ask?"
Yeah.
The person will say yes or he'll say no.
Yeah.
Now look at the structure of our mind. Even before asking, we are thinking, if I ask him this question, he might get offended. Maybe he doesn't answer my question. All this is made up by our own mind. And we call this thinking. You remember that in your workshop, we were using this word jails,
Yes, sir.
judgments,
Yes, sir.
what agendas, and all the other stuff. You remember that? Can't
Yes,
tell
yes.
we haven't paid for it. So our jails is what we are doing, and we are not thinking. Okay, so one of the things we can do is train our brains to think possibility or ask questions which will open up possibilities. But for that, we have to use our brains fully, which we don't.
Yeah.
So when you have a desire which is strong enough, your brain will be forced to think. At some point, we give up thinking. So what is the thinking that will help us in life to achieve our objectives? So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, what is the kind of thinking that will help us to fulfill our desires?
Positive thinking.
Okay, Sagar, thanks, Reddy Garu.
I think possibility thinking, that what you can
Yes.
create.
Yes. And that is the topic of the day. Possibility thinking. Dr. Gunayan, you want to add something to it?
I want to use the word strategic thinking, sir.
That's a good management word.
Yes.
Yesterday, I had 1 hour discussion about strategic thinking, and everything that that person was thinking about strategy was not strategy.
Yeah, because I use this word, sir. Strategic is always about the future.
And of possibilities.
Yeah.
The strategic thinking is a strategic way of finding and fulfilling possibilities. Because if you see a possibility, it's not going to be fulfilled just like that, right? One will have to be having a strategy. And what is strategy? A set of actions, correct? What is strategy anyway?
Yeah, a set of action, tactics, risk mitigation, and all such a stuff to reach to a desired state.
Exactly. Yeah, so the strategic thinking is another name for possibility thinking, borrowed from the armed forces.
Right.
Because the armed forces always did strategic thinking. You can't win wars without strategy. Right? But ultimately, what it boils down to is using your brains fully. Okay? You don't have to attend a class on strategic thinking. Little children are smart in strategic thinking, right? उसको पता है अभी मम्मी को बोलूं या डैडी को बोलूं. What is the strategy to get my job done? The job is always done, right? And one of the reasons is done is that they are very clear and committed to their desires, right? And they are unwilling to give up. Parents will give them labels like you are very stubborn and ziddio, but they don't give up. And they find a way. So these children are very good examples to look at, and you will see that they use these telescopes quite frequently. We used to have them, but we lost them. हमारा तो वही गाना होता हम छोड़ चले हैं महफिल को याद आए तो जरूर रोना. So we are talking about using our brains fully. Now we have this great logical mind, fantastic. We hide behind our logic. We use logic to justify everything. Have you met people? They can use logic to prove anything. You'll see these politicians. They will use logic to give you one thing before election, and they will use the same logic after the election to tell you why it cannot be done. Before election, they'll tell you how it can be done. After election, they'll tell you how it cannot be done. Wow, how interesting it is. Now read this. You've got some things written on the left side and something on the right side. Read them loud. See how fast you can read them.
Blue, orange, red, green, yellow, purple, black.
Now, some people get slowed down because the name of the color is written in a different color. So some hesitation comes, right? Because the logical brain is saying, blue, green में क्यों लिखा है? Red को blue में क्यों लिखा है? और green को red में लिखा है? इसका क्या logic है? So when we get into that, it slows us down, isn't it? So we have, they say a left brain and we have a right brain. Okay. So we have the left lobe, which does the logical, analytical, quantitative, fact-based, planned, organized, sequential. This is the kind of thinking that we do with our left brain. And most of our education has prepared us to do only left brain thinking because it is very essential to survive in this practical world. So most of the people in the default mode, they do this thinking. Most men, I would say. You see, and here also, you will find that you have not mastered all these types of thinkings. So some people may be very analytical, okay, but they are not planned and organized. Some people are very planned and organized, but they are not that much analytical or logical. So even if you are a left brain person, you may find that you have not developed all the thinking that you are capable of. Now let's look at the right lobe. Now this is a holistic brain. It sees the beat. This is to wake these people up. Synthesizing, emotional, interpersonal, feeling based. Okay? So the right side is the more creative side where all the ideas come from and so on and so forth. Very few people are whole brain. You'll find people are either left brain or they are right brain. If they are more right brain, people will say he's not good in practical matters. He keeps coming out with these fanciful ideas. You know what? It is the fanciful ideas when we were able to convert them into practical life, then great inventions came out. So somebody had a fanciful idea. So can you imagine if you had a fanciful idea, you have the ability to convert it into action and reality also, for which you need to develop your whole brain thinking. So in subsequent sessions, I'm going to be giving you some exercises also, how to develop that. And there are books available also that helps you to develop that. So first step is, how do you start harnessing the power of your mind fully? Believe me when I say that we have not harnessed it. And let me give you another reason also. Now you see this brain, the three brain, which I've shown you many times. Most of the time we are using brain number one, which is the reactive brain. Reactive brain never shows you possibilities. Yeah, it tells you to fight or it tells you to run. And it releases a chemical in your brain that stops your rational brain from thinking. Brain number two is the analyzer brain, which you know very well, right? It runs patterns. This is where your habits are living. This is the brain which keeps on giving meanings and interpretations. This is the brain which forces you to make decisions. It does not allow you to make choices. This is the brain where you are always judging, right or wrong, agree, disagree, is it familiar, is it unfamiliar? This is the brain which does not like, unfamiliarity, uncertainty. For this brain, uncertainty is a threat. Yeah, so now people who live only in brain number one and brain number two, and this is the only brain that is controlling them, can they see possibility? Because which brain will make you see possibility? Brain number three, this one. This is the brain where you have future-based thinking. This is the brain which is open to future-based thinking. This is the brain which encourages reasoning, reflection, discrimination. This is the brain which has desire and goal orientation. This is the brain which loves uncertainty. It doesn't care कि अरे पता नहीं क्या हो जाएगा. This is the brain which loves excitement, curiosity, learning and growing. And here in the EMC, we are talking about even going beyond this brain and tapping into the super brain. And if you tap into that super brain, you will always see possibilities. But for that, we'll have to get out of this limited brain of ours. And we are so scared of that, no? To go beyond this brain is something that you and I resist quite a lot. So we'll get out for a few minutes, go back there, back to the default mode. Now you understand what is the default mode and where is the default mode? Yeah, please keep yourself muted, everybody. Let me see.
Oh, okay.
Any questions so far?
Very
But everybody has all the three types of brain, sir. Everybody.
Obviously, yes. You came in a little late, so you missed something.
Right, sir.
We all have. I mean, we are humans, isn't it?
Yeah, for some will it be less developed, more dominant, like that?
No, this is where, see, we were looking at this. Did you see this one? You came after I had covered this.
Ah, sir.
So here you will find that there are some people who are more left-brained.
Fine,
Okay?
sir.
And there are some people who are more right-brained, and there are very few people who are whole-brained. Whole-brained
Okay.
means that you're using all the three brains of yours, two brains completely.
Oh, fine, sir.
So the trick is to develop whole brain thinking. So one of the things that's happening in the EMC is that with whatever it is that we are doing, it fosters whole brain thinking.
Got it, sir.
So having covered that, we went to this three brains, which you are familiar with because we've done it a number of times.
Yes, sir.
Brain number one is the reactive brain. Brain number two is the judging, comparing brain. Brain number three is where all the action happens if you allow it to work. Correct?
Got it. Right, sir. Got it, sir.
Three is the rational brain, which will allow you to focus on possibilities and goals and desires and stuff like that. And what we are talking about and what you've recently experienced, Narayanan, that you're opening up the world of a world beyond your reasoning even. See, the world beyond your reasoning is the world where you are tapping into what we can call as the super brain, or like Jung has said, the collective unconscious mind of all humanity. You know, when you tap into the consciousness, then you're seeing many, 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 many more possibilities than you ever could. But this mechanism, you know, doesn't allow us to tap into that. So that's the journey that you started on Sunday. Okay, and
Yes,
how are you
correct.
doing? All right. So now the other thing that before we go into that, Kunayan has his hand raised. So let's say what new input he is going to give us. Yes, Kunayan.
Just a quick one, sir. You mentioned the super brain. So I'm curious to know more about that. If now or later, no problem.
That's exactly what I was talking about, which you missed probably after raising your hand. See, the collective unconscious mind of all humanity may be something that we call as consciousness. So when you tap into the consciousness or the awareness, that is where you get the reservoir of all knowledge from all times. Maybe that is the super brain. Because I can't give you a definitive answer.
Yeah, got it, sir. Thank you.
है ना? तो ये जो काम हम लोग कर रहे हैं एक्सेस कॉन्शियसनेस में, we are actually tapping into that. In fact, we are removing those blocks which don't let us tap into it. See, the logical mind will never allow us to tap into it. Because the logical mind and this other mind, the mechanism mind of ours, wants us to live in this world of opposites and on polarities. So it's like going ding, 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 left, right, good, bad, right, wrong, okay, not okay, I like, I don't like. So if it comes out of that only, it is going to tap into something else. No? So now one thing else I want to tell you. See, people who are developing a possibility search attitude, they also develop a skill in what is called as the preemptive planning. So if you look at what happens in life, so you have a strong desire and you're working towards it, right? Obstacles are definitely going to happen. Difficulties are definitely going to happen. Okay? Now, when it hits you on the face, sometimes your brain doesn't work. Because in unusual situations, the brain doesn't work. So these people know that. They are realists. They know that problem to aayegi. So they have a preemptive plan to deal with the different types of problems that we are likely to encounter in our life. So we have Major Narayanan with us. He will tell you how in the armed forces, preemptive planning is the default mode. So Major Saab, would you like to tell them what is preemptive planning? Major Saab, are you there? Can you hear me? Major Narayanan. Anybody else who knows about what is preemptive planning? We've got lots of brains here. So Vetrivel, what is preemptive planning? Where is our friend Mr. Rama? Rama, what is preemptive planning? Okay.
Preemptive is anticipating what is going to come and being prepared, sir.
Okay, Abhinav, you want to say something about this?
Yes, coming from defense forces background, I would like to share. Oh, that is how my father thinks all the time, by the way. We are going, see, it's like thinking what all could go wrong, or what all could happen in future, and and then if that will happen, then what all we will do.
Exactly. So you already have. So this kind of thinking can be done before it happens, right?
Yes.
See, when it happens, it's difficult to think.
Yeah.
Companies, you see, they do the fire drill. So what is a fire drill? There is a plan. If there is a fire, this is what we should do. This is the process to be followed. Correct? Now, simply having a plan is not enough because they know that when the fire happens, people will get panicked. Their brains are not going to work. Therefore, they make them practice. In the armed forces, it's called drill. So you drill it. You do it once, you do it twice, you do it thrice. So it becomes a habit. So when the fire actually happens, you will just follow the drill. Yeah. So that's called developing. So these people who are possibility thinkers, they will always have a drill. They will always have a plan. They'll be able to identify what type of problems can happen in life. And that's what I'm talking about. So the first kind of problem that can happen in life is called the roadblock problem. So what's the roadblock problem? All the known problems that we can identify easily, they are called roadblock problem. So give me some examples of the known problems that you can easily identify. And you know that these things happen. You don't need a rocket science to tell you कि ये चीजें होती हैं. People, why don't you tell us what are the problems that we are definitely likely to encounter?
Traffic snarl, sir. Traffic congestion, bottlenecks.
Exactly. And yeah, you said you will get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and you overslept.
And petrol in the car, like it can likely to go.
Yeah.
empty.
Yeah, and your car got punctured and you did not fill up air in your stepney also. Preemptive planning is you've got a stepney and you've checked the stepney to make sure that it's not punctured and it's got, yeah. An example of preemptive planning is your health insurance that you take.
Yes, plus investments for old age.
Yeah, this is all examples of preemptive planning, right? Those who don't do it, they go around running and, saying, yaar, phas gaye, abhi na 1 lakh rupe de dena yaar, preemptive planning नहीं किया था तभी ऐसी चीजें होती है ना. What else?
Charging the mobile before going out.
Yeah, and some people carry 2 mobile phones.
So Deepak, getting vaccinated. कि
Absolutely.
आगे बीमारी ना हो जाए.
Yeah, so many. So see, whenever we are not doing enough thinking, so I say that the moment you have a desire or the moment that we make a commitment, at that very moment we can start identifying what are the things that can already go wrong, and I'm already planned for that. So that later on I didn't say to myself that, look, I got stopped, kya karu, ye ho gaya. So when my family always laughs at me, I'll go to the airport 2 hours before time. So if the airport people says come 2 hours before time, I'll be there 3 hours before time. Even 4 hours before time. And that's the height of preemptive planning.
So for the preemptive planning, we have to use the critical thinking. Is it not so?
Yeah, you can use whatever thinking you want, but this is what we're doing actually. First of all, identifying what are the kind of problems that are likely to happen, right? Critically. Some people are so much optimistic, they don't think anything can go wrong only. So very good critical thinking we will use. Identify. So now we are talking about the roadblock problems. Okay. The second kind of problem that we can encounter is something called the road vanishing problem. What do you think that is? Anybody give an example? Rama, give an example of road vanishing problem. The road on which you are traveling only vanished.
So the examples vanished away from me now.
Getting fired away from job.
Exactly. So suppose you are a person who's only depending on a job and who has not developed the confidence or capability to survive even without a job, he'll be paralyzed if he loses his job. Let me give you an example now. Rama, you will remember 50 things after that. See, the Indian industry was protected by the license Raj, you remember? Before the economy was opened up by our that Narasimha Rao. Okay. Now they were protected because foreign companies were not allowed to come here because we knew that our industry will never develop. They'll not be able to face that competition. So a lot of companies were doing very well in that insulated environment. They never used that time to develop themselves and be ready for international competition, neither in quality or in aggressive market policy. It was like, it was the seller's market. So when the foreign companies came, what happened to these guys? The road vanished, no? Companies like HMT vanished, Alvin Refrigerator vanished, yeah, Televista TV vanished, Western TV vanished. So many companies vanished.
Yeah. So internationally also Kodak, Nokia and all is gone because
because like Kodak is the one who invented the digital camera, but they never saw any possibility in it, so they didn't pursue it. Okay. They never did preemptive thinking to think that, look here, the digital camera is going to overtake the world. Nobody even did preemptive thinking to think that one day all cameras will be in the phones. So even the camera market got hit because they did not do preemptive thinking. So how much preemptive thinking can we do? So preemptive thinking is something which keeps you forecasting what the future can be. Like Rama is from the IT industry, he will tell you that you can be outdated in 3 or 4 months' time if you don't keep up to date. I mean, the technology is so rapidly growing. If you don't keep pace with it, you don't keep pace with the future trends and all, you are out of it pretty quick. That brings me to the third problem, which is the worst problem that can happen.
We have seen it practically, sir. Printing industry,
Yep.
letterpress.
Yep.
When DTP has come, their roads were blocked and they vanished completely.
Lots of things. Now, this problem is the one lot of you suffer from. A lot of us suffer from. Yeah, problem of no problem. I know everything. I've done everything. What new you will teach me? You know?
Even banking industry, sir.
They have
Digital,
problem of no problem.
Yeah.
Or they have no road. You are still stuck with the road vanishing problem. We are now talking about the problem of no problem. You know, this is the problem which never allows people to change along with the times. This is the problem where people don't want to learn new things. You know, if I had this problem in 2020, I would have not gone and done the access programs, you know. Oh, yeah, 35 years I've been learning, I've learned everything, what new? As a trainer, I realized this very early in my career, that people who are in our learning and development market, we become like those arrogant fellows, you know. We are very successful, we are doing very well. A lot of people saying, very good, sir, very good, sir. So you can become complacent. Complacent means, why should I change? I know everything, right? Complacency leads to arrogance, and arrogance will always lead to. So it doesn't matter who you are and where you are. So when you're doing your preemptive planning, which we should do, so that we can always see possibilities, and seeing possibilities becomes our new default mode. Being a possibility seeker becomes our new habit, that we are training ourselves to see possibilities where the whole world sees roadblocks. See, that's the difference between people who are fulfilling their desires and those who are not. That's the difference between people who are struggling, and people who are living a life of ease, joy, and glory. You know what the difference is? That the people who live a life of ease, joy, and glory, they are always looking at possibilities. They have trained themselves that in the same situation where other people are seeing roadblocks and problems and difficulties, these people are seeing possibilities. So these people have a mindset that every experience is an opportunity to become a better version of myself. So they don't waste time in judging a situation. They're just saying, hey, what can I learn from this? How can I use this as a stepping stone to a more, bright future? So that's possibility search attitude. And by the way, that's why you are here for. I mean, if you're there on the Empowering Morning Conversations, one of the main things that you wish to do is to develop possibility search attitude. Yeah, so Sakshi, why don't you say it? Unmute it and say it, what you're saying. And explain it also. Sakshi, are you there?
Yes, sir. I'm there. I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, you said something in the chat, mock drill. What is that? I know what it is. Many people may not know it, no? So explain it to them.
Okay. You're talking about mock drill. So mock drill basically is conducted in schools and certain places where children or people are prepared of actually if something happens, how you're supposed to behave. Like where is a staircase, you're not supposed to take the elevator, and how you're supposed to go, you are not supposed to push each other. So likewise, they are prepared in case of any kind of calamity or untoward incident happening.
Yeah, like a fire drill.
Fire drill, yes.
Okay, now I'll tell you what, even trainers do it. So when we train new trainers, we'll set up a mock, We'll have an audience for them and let them deliver to them as a part of their training. So that becomes a part of their good example. Thank you very much. So my request to everyone is that instead of simply putting in the chat box, you raise your hand and I'll ask you to share your point. Like Sagar has raised his hand. Go ahead, Sagar. What is it that you want to share with us?
Sir, that roadblock, sir. Sir, I want to share something, sir. I just in morning I dream about I was in the road. I was walking in the road and I just fall down. It's just another road.
Okay.
So my question is, sir, most of the time when we are in a new road or in a new things we are trying to do, the same problem arise again and again. So most of the time we have not identified our problem what it is. So how to, sir, just to figure out how to solve the problem, or in solving problem we are wasting our time, but in solving problem we are wasting our more time. And when we are walking on the road to the possibility, when we are thinking of the problem, we are more back to the problems, not to the possibility. So
Before you start
yeah.
something, if you do some preemptive thinking, see, you gave a beautiful example that sometimes the same problem keeps happening again and again. Correct?
Yes, sir.
So that means you have not done enough thinking to resolve that problem. So if something happens once in a while, it's okay. कभी कभी हेडेक होता है तो आपने टैबलेट खा के ठीक हो गया. बार बार हेडेक होता है तो क्या करोगे? करना चाहिए
हॉस्पिटल,
डॉक्टर के पास जाना चाहिए. Right?
Yes, sir.
So similarly, when we have something which keeps on happening again and again, then you have to find out the possibilities, how to deal with it, even before it happens. Because you know ये आने वाला तो है ही.
Yeah.
For example, you know that they are always going to discourage me. मैं बोलता हूँ मुझे ये करना है, बोलेंगे नहीं करना है. Okay? So if you want to deal with it, then you have to find out how to deal with it. Then you say the way I'm going about it, there may be another way of doing it. If you don't know how, you will go to the expert. Like you're coming to me every morning.
Right.
Yeah, or you may find a bigger expert also. You may find a panel of experts also. Who knows? You will go and pay $4,000 to somebody from the US, you know. कि भाई ये इंडियन वाले मुझे क्या बताएंगे, तो हम तो यूएस $4,000 लेके पूछेंगे. You know कि भाई ये करने से मेरे को solution मिल सकता है, but we are not willing to take that action. That is also there.
Right, sir.
So sometimes I ask people, like I was talking to somebody the other day, and I said to them, okay, but you do this, it will take care of your health problem before it happens. Okay? Now this person will go and spend 10 lakh rupees in doing an operation, but they will not make use of a very small, 17,000 rupees opportunity to make sure that they don't ever, they minimize the chances of falling ill. So our own blocks sometimes are not allowing us to deal with the problem which we know we can deal with.
Right.
So that's what I say, this problem of no problem is a big problem. So this bravado is another problem. बार बार होता नहीं, next time नहीं होएगा तो मैं solve कर लूंगा, मुझे मालूम है कैसे करना है. फिर होता है तो फिर रुक जाऊंगा, फिर मैं बोलूंगा because sir, क्यों नहीं किया तुमने? Because sir, कोई नहीं है, फिर भी है मुझको जाने किसका इंतजार, है ना. कसमे वादे प्यार वफा सब बातें हैं बातों का. फिर ऐसे गाने सुन के मन बहला लेंगे, कोई किसी का नहीं है, ये झूठे नाते हैं. You're not open to listening to anyone. See, preemptive thinking, sometimes you can do it on your own. Sometimes it's better to involve other people. Because see, if you have got one type of thinking, if you go to 6 people, you will get exposure to 6 type of thinkings.
Right, sir.
The possibility thinkers are open to other people's point of view also. See, the problem with us is that we are so stuck in our own point of view, and all the solutions that we are trying to find out are coming from our own point of view.
Right, sir. Right.
पहली बात तो ये है कि our problem happened because of our own point of view only. And now we're trying to find a solution from our own point of view only. So if you want to make use of the rich network of friends and associates that you have, you should be willing to listen to their point of view also. So that is why, enterprising people will do brainstorming sessions with their staff, with their managers, with their friends, just to get different points of view, so that something which is escaping your own eyes, see, like when you come to an empowering morning session, it's like a brainstorming session also, no? Because you're getting exposed to different points of view.
Yes, sir.
That's why I encourage people to speak up, because who knows, you may bring in a point of view which nobody else has. So this is not only what Sukhdeepak has to say or Sukhdeepak's point of view. I am not even trying to do that. I am putting out distinctions. You discuss on it, see possibilities in it. Let other points of view come out. The only thing is that this is a directed or a moderated discussion. Otherwise, it will become a free for all. And you'll notice that I don't behave like one Mr. Goswami. I allow people to speak. Of course, if they go off topic, I will ask them to come back to the topic. If I don't do that, you will not get value out of it. Na?
Sure, true, sir. True, sir.
थोड़ा responsibility रहता है. Yes, Mr. Suresh Kumar.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sir, this kind of thing happened to me very recently. Like my car, while driving, all of a sudden it used to stop. And 3-4 times different mechanics have come and solved the things temporarily. I have observed and I found, okay, the petrol connection is not okay. And 4-5 times I myself have done it without mechanics, because I have seen and observed. But I thought, okay, it should not happen continuously, going long journeys or kind of thing. I called the company fellow. I said, okay, this is what is happening with your branded company car. And if this happens, and you have supplied a substandard thing, if you don't solve it, then I will put it in a social media. Then they have sent their people and they have solved it. So,
and my question to you, Suresh Kumar, is this: why did you not go to the company people in the first place? Why did you go to local mechanic?
No, because it happened in a very distant place and the warranty was over.
Achha, achha. Yeah. So sometimes, people don't go to the company fellow thinking, bhai, I'll have to pay money over there.
Yeah, I said I don't mind paying, but solve the problem. Otherwise, I will publish in social media, and I will see that already the company is in the trouble. So they said they might have thought, okay, why making more troubles? They have solved it.
Fantastic, good example. Thank you very much for sharing. All right, anybody else? Any question? Anything you want to share? I hope you can begin to see now that how the Empowering Morning Conversation is a forum that will encourage more possibility thinking. So one of the things that we do help you out of is getting out of your conditioned mode. See, in the default mode, there is not much possibility thinking that's going to happen. Okay. I enjoy morning conversations. You know why? Because every time I have a conversation with you guys, it stimulates my thinking too. It's never only one person's thing, right? There are 27 people who put their brains together, out of which 17 come on time. The rest of them come after half the conversation is over, but still they are welcome.
Okay. Pakyudin had something. Pakyudin had something to say.
Who?
Pakyudin.
Yeah. So what stops him from raising his hand and saying it instead of just putting in the chat box? I wonder. Pakyudin, please go ahead.
Yeah. I just thought you said about this preemptive thinking and roadblock. So it is something part of we are critical or negative thinking, and in between the negative thinking and positive thinking, we are always saying think positive always. So there is a part of negative thinking and taking measurements, precautions. you said that way, I feel. So there is a gap between this negative thinking and positive. There is a preemptive thinking or way.
This you don't compare with that. Preemptive thinking is that you try and anticipate the problem before it happens and you find a solution for it and you're ready. That if the problem happens, you are ready for it. That's called preemptive thinking. It's got nothing to do in between positive thinking and negative thinking. Are you getting it, Tyaguddin? What we are saying, you missed the beginning part of the conversation.
Yeah.
I don't blame you for that.
Different.
Yeah. So, you know, what happens is when you have a desire or a commitment, when you try to achieve it, have you noticed that always the pitfalls come? Correct?
Yeah.
Now, if you're prepared for it before, you can easily deal with it. Because sometimes when the pitfall comes at that moment, the mind doesn't work. It is in a panic mode. Correct? In a panic mode, the brain is not working fully. You are in reaction mode or resisting mode. However, if you have done it much before, when your mind was calm and peaceful, you know, so like when you go on a journey, you will first think, no, that I might get hungry, so let me carry some food. I might feel thirsty, maybe I don't get water, so I carry some water, right?
Yes.
That is all example of preemptive thinking. So I say, hello, I might fall sick. It will be very expensive to get treatment. So I will buy, what's that, medical insurance. That's also example of, you know, when you get your car insurance done. These are all examples of preemptive. You will go and do periodic servicing of your car, right? Or do you only go to the garage when car breaks down?
Okay.
So when you are doing periodic servicing, that is preemptive servicing, to make sure that the car does not break down in the middle of the road somewhere. You got it?
Yes. So it is not, it is something, normal thing we have to consider.
Before you know, the moment you express a desire and the moment you make your action plan, one of the things in your action plan should be preemptive thinking and identifying the different types of problem that can come. Okay. And then have a plan for that. So for that, we showed you the 3 types of problems that usually happen to people. Clear?
Yeah.
Thank you so much. All right, guys, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you very much for another nice morning. Have a wonderful day. Hey, Kuldeep ji and Kunen ji, how about a share each? Dono share ek share suna dijiye. Otherwise, I'll not feel complete.
कुलदीप सर,
हाय।
क्षमा आपकी तरफ है।
यस सर। एक शेर पेश है
इरशाद
कि धड़कनों को कुछ तो काबू में रख ऐ दिल।
धड़कनों को कुछ तो काबू में रख ऐ दिल।
अभी तो पलकें झुकाई हैं।
ओए ओए।
अभी तो पलकें झुकाई हैं, मुस्कुराना बाकी है उनका।
क्या बात है। अभिनव सर नोट करें।
दोबारा से सुनाए, मुझे ये भी चोरी करना है।
धड़कनों को तो काबू में कर दिल।
अभी तो पलकें ही झुकाई हैं।
अभी तो पलकें ही झुकाई हैं, मुस्कुराना बाकी है उनका।
क्या बात। हाँ। बहुत अच्छा शेर है सर।
फैंटास्टिक, मजा आ गया।
थैंक यू।
एक सुनकर जाइए, हमारा अभिनव जी आपके लिए है।
इरशाद
आपके लिए अर्ज किया है कि दिल ने सोचा था कि उसे टूट कर चाहेंगे। दिल ने सोचा था उसे टूट कर चाहेंगे, सच मानो टूटे भी बहुत और चाहा भी बहुत।
All right, I think that's the right note to close today's session on. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Gren. Thank you, Kuldeep ji. And thank you, everyone, Rama and Vitrivel and Neeti and, Reddy Garu and everybody whose names I'm not.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you so much.
Thank you.
Good day, everybody.
Thank you, sir. God bless
Thank you.
everyone.
Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. Good day, sir.
Have a nice day, all of you.
Thank you.